Put away the flip-flops and bathing suits and break out those sweaters and boots. It's finally fall, and we have the scoop on what's happening around town that will get you in the spirit. Hello, I'm Dana Pecora.
And I'm Nick Skiles. If you want to explore amazing culture, food, famous destinations, and more, all you've got to do is look just next door.
Hello, and welcome to Just Next Door, the show that brings you around the Philadelphia area to explore all of the great opportunities that the city has to offer.
On this fall-themed episode, we'll be featuring the famous thrilling attraction that has people traveling from out of town for a scare, as well as some staple fall treats at the Reading Terminal Market, and much more.
We also have Phillies PA announcer Dan Baker in studio with us for an interview to talk about his unique job with the Philadelphia's favorite baseball team.
To kick off the fall festivities, we're going to explore one of Philly's greatest aspects, food. And what better way to do that than to go down to the famous grub spot, the Reading Terminal Market. This trip will take a look at some of the most popular fall treats that fill the market when October rolls around.
Hey guys, we're at Filbert and 12th Street at Philadelphia's famous Reading Terminal Market, trying out the famous fall favorites. We're here in front of Beeler's Donuts, trying their fall specialties, pumpkin cream, apple cider, and pumpkin cake.
Beeler's has long been a favorite among Philadelphians and tourists alike. People can wait over 30 minutes just to get a fresh donut made from the workers behind the counter.
Which one's the most popular around here? The pumpkin cream, because it's the cream inside, outside, there's cinnamon shaken on top, and then it's vanilla glazed.
So right now I'm trying the pumpkin cake donut. It's very pumpkin-y, and it's definitely more dry than the pumpkin cream, I suspect would be. So I'll try the pumpkin cream. It definitely has more of a spice to it, not as dry as the pumpkin cake. And now I'm trying the apple cider. This one's definitely more of a cake consistency. I would think it kind of falls apart. We're here at the Flying Monkey trying their pumpkin cake, a famous fall favorite at the Reading Terminal Market.
The Flying Monkey features tons of fall flavors, from pumpkin spice butter bars to vegan pumpkin whoopie pies. There is something for everyone, but the workers say that pumpkin cake always steals the show.
The pumpkin cake is a pumpkin pie that's wrapped in a chocolate cake, and then an apple pie on top that's wrapped in a vanilla cake, and then it's wholly wrapped in Swiss marine cream. A lot of folks come here in the fall specifically for it. They know about it. They're usually asking like 3 weeks before we even put it out if they can order it. And then, yeah, people come in and they're very excited about it and they love to get a slice.
I'm eating the chocolate cake in the pumpkin cake, and then I'm going to eat the vanilla cake in the apple pie. Definitely the vanilla cake with the apple pie is my favorite because it just has a really nice blend of flavors, and I can definitely see why this is a fan favorite.
For the last stop on our fall tour, we visited Bassett's Family Ice Cream Shop, a Philadelphia tradition for over 150 years.
I'm here trying Bassett's Pumpkin Ice Cream, a featured fall flavor. It's a very creamy consistency, and it has that spice and kick to it like a fall pumpkin flavor normally would. After trying out Beeler's Donuts, the Flying Monkey's famous cake, and Bassett's ice cream, I can definitely say this is a great place to stop to have delicious fall treats.
Much like the Reading Terminal Market, the Italian Market is another great food location filled with popular vendors. In this city, backgrounds of all kinds go hand in hand with some of the best food around. So in this segment of Culture Connection, we're exploring the rich traditions of this Italian community.
The Italian Market is a Philadelphia hotspot for immersing yourself in Italian culture. Located on South 9th Street, this marketplace consists of a wide collection of shopping and dining options, all offering some of the best fresh food in the city. While walking through the busy streets, visitors keep their eye out on ingredients they can use for their own homemade Italian meals.
We typically come here on a weekly basis, pick up some mozzarella and, take it home, cook a meal. And that's kind of our weekly tradition.
I like to come here and look for dinner inspiration. There's a lot of little stalls and we see where we can get the best prices. It's mostly about bartering and seeing where you can get the best deal.
One place in particular is the DeBruno Brothers shop, where customers can choose from their wide collection of meats and cheeses. While they have several locations throughout the city, the Italian Market is where the DeBruno Brothers' journey began. Their first shop opened in 1939, quickly becoming one of Philly's favorite food locations, holding hundreds of fine cheeses.
Best cheese. They have some awesome ricotta and burrata cheese here, so I like to stock up for the week.
With so many shops and restaurants lining the street, the possibilities are endless of getting your taste of Italy in Philadelphia.
It's kind of a very culturally just fun area. Lots of different stuff. And
It's one of my favorite spots in the city because you can really spend the entire day here and soak up a little bit of culture.
As with the wide variety of food and culture, Philadelphia has some of the best places around that are truly must-visit experiences. However, if you can't make it out, we still have a way to get you in the autumn spirit. Just next door is going to show you how to carve the perfect pumpkin. Great for a fun family activity or unique fall decor.
Here's what you'll need: a large spoon, a knife or pumpkin carving tools, a large bowl, and a marker. First step, cut a large circular hole in the top of the pumpkin. Next step, using the spoon or your hands, scoop out the inside of the pumpkin into the bowl. Warning, this can get messy. Next, choose your design and sketch it out. Get your tools ready, because it's time to carve. And voila, there's your marvelous pumpkin.
We're going to take a quick break, but when we come back, get ready for a trip down Broad Street with a look into Philly's most beloved pastimes.
Just next door, we'll be welcoming a Philadelphia sports figure to the studio, while some of our correspondents hit the streets to test the knowledge of the most passionate sports fans in the country. Stay tuned.
Exposure to blue light can mess with your sleep and memory cycle, so make sure you limit your screen time at least 2 hours before you go to bed.
Welcome back. In case you missed it, we're here bringing you just next door to some of Philadelphia's most well-known attractions, most of which are perfect for the fall season.
Looking to get in shape? There are many ways to get on the track to a healthy lifestyle. All you have to do is grab your sneakers or bike and hop on the nearest trail. And if you live in the area, you're in luck, because Philadelphia's Schuylkill River has the setting for one of the country's most beautiful trail runs. Take a look at this amazing opportunity to get fit on this segment's Philly Fit.
Rochelle Jupiter here reporting for Philly Fit. Today we're at the Schuylkill River Trail, where we'll be interviewing people about why they like to come here to stay fit. What makes you come out here to work out?
Being right next to the river is really nice. Having like green space to work out, and I'd much rather work out like outside and in nature than being inside of a gym, stuffed up with other people. And research shows that nature in your workout environment is better for your health.
The trail overall is 30 miles long and runs from Center City, Philadelphia to Parkerford, Pennsylvania. About 20,000 runners and bikers visit the trail each year. And are there any other similar places in Philly like this where we could work out?
Nothing quite like this, but I'm sure there's wonderful spots I haven't found.
Right, this one is one of a kind. Yeah. As you can see, people have a large interest in using the Schuylkill Trail to stay healthy. The trail has been and remains effective in keeping Philly fit.
The arts are another part of the community. So if you're looking for a creative way to volunteer, look no further than this week's segment of Service Spotlight. We're highlighting Build a Bridge, a nonprofit that works in service to local communities through music and the arts.
So tonight is Tones of Home. It's a curated music and community art making series that we do at World Cafe Live. And the idea is to bring the Build a Bridge model, the safe space model that we promote through our art making, into the public sphere so people can experience it, ask questions about it, see its value. And then attached to that is performances with community-minded artists. So it's not just teaching artists, but also professional artists, and kind of creating this middle ground.
Hi, I'm Liz DeLise. I've been working with Build a Bridge International for about 3 years, I think, as an artist on call. A lot of the work that I've been so lucky to get to do with them is in different women's shelters in the greater Philly area. That's some of my favorite work, doing camps there and after school programs. I'm a musician, so a lot of the programming that I do is music focused, but then I also have a theater background, so I try to combine and keep things really active and engaging.
What's your favorite part about helping out with Build a Bridge?
It's the virtue of the arts over the virtuosity of it. It's the process of the arts over the product of the arts. Then we want everyone to have a beautiful experience at the end, to have something in their hand, tangible, that they've created. But it's really that process of feeling safe and feeling creative and having a sense of mastery via the art-making process.
My name is Kate Myers-Kaufman, and I'm a board-certified music therapist and teaching artist at Build a Bridge, and also a research associate. For Build a Bridge, I've worked in the capacity of a music therapist and teaching artist with contracts for women against abuse, and working in various transitional housing shelters, and also working with refugees and immigrants with companies such as Nationality Service Center downtown, as well as working with immigrant women who have experienced domestic violence.
Come on, see the hills rise and fall.
It's been really great, and I definitely recommend it if you are a musician and you love working with others and sharing music and sharing art. It's really transformed the way that I think about art making.
Nick took a quick break to check out that awesome volunteer opportunity, but no worries, he'll be back with us shortly. In the meantime, we have one of the most iconic voices in Philadelphia to take his place. He's been the voice of the Philadelphia Eagles and is the voice of the Phillies. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to welcome Dan Baker to Just Next Door. Hi, Dan.
Hi, Dana. Thank you for having me.
Of course. Thank you for joining us. So I want to talk a little bit about you and obviously what you do. You grew up in the local area in New Jersey. So the first thing I want to ask is, how special is it that you have been able to build a career in Philadelphia?
It's very special to me. I was born in Philadelphia, and the first 8 years of my life I lived in Southwest Philadelphia. Then my parents moved across the river, Dana, to Mount Ephraim. And I went to Mount Ephraim Public Schools, Audubon High School. I went to then Glassboro State College undergrad. It's now known as Rowan University in Glassboro, New Jersey, and Temple University Graduate School. I was an education major as an undergrad and started teaching school in Philadelphia. Yeah. I taught at the Landreth Public School at 23rd and Federal for 10 years, and then they closed that, the school district did, in a cost-cutting move, and I moved a couple blocks away to the Smith School at 19th and Wharton. So I taught from 68 through 80. Okay.
Yeah, so your first kind of career move, your interest was education. So how did you get into the public announcing industry?
Well, I was always a pretty good athlete, and I played some sports in high school and college. But while I was pretty good, I certainly wasn't good enough, Dana, to play professionally. But I so loved going to Connie Mack Stadium as a kid. That used to be the home of the Phillies. Not too far from here at 21st Street and Lehigh Avenue. And going to Convention Hall and seeing Philadelphia Warriors games. We had a pro team called the Warriors before the 76ers. Of course, they're now out in Golden State. But it was, and of course the Philadelphia Eagles. They played it also at Connie Mack Stadium at one time, which was also known as Shibe Park. And they played at Franklin Field and Veterans Stadium. But it was just so exciting going to those games. I thought, how could I be a part of this since I'm not a good enough athlete to play on the field, which would have been my first choice. But I was always a good talker, good at public speaking, and I knew sports. Yeah. And I did a lot of things on the side. I kept statistics. I spotted for visiting NFL play-by-play announcers at Franklin Field and Veterans Stadium, and you know, one thing led to another, and eventually I got an opportunity to do the announcing itself.
And did you kind of have anybody that influenced you, you know, that you looked up to as a role model for public announcing?
In this city, there was a great PA announcer for the Philadelphia 76ers and previously the Philadelphia Warriors named Dave Zinkoff, who was very entertaining. We also had a gentleman named Pete Byron, who was the Phillies PA announcer in the 1950s through 1964. I admired both of their work very much. And my predecessor at the Philadelphia Eagles was a gentleman named Matt Gukas Sr., who was a great basketball player in the city at St. Joseph's, and then whose son was also a great basketball player and played on a Philadelphia 76ers NBA championship team, in fact, in 1967. Oh,
that's awesome. You've obviously had a lot of experience with a bunch of the teams, you know, in the city. Kind of going back down memory lane, what's your favorite game that you've ever been a part of?
Well, of course, announcing for a championship team, Dana, would be the highlight. It was my privilege to announce 2 Phillies World Series champions, 1980 and 2008. I announced altogether 5 World Series, 1980, 1983, 1993, 2008, 2009. And as I say, the Phillies won 2 of them. I also had the good fortune to announce 2 Major League Baseball All-Star games, 1976 and 1996. Both of those Major League Baseball All-Star games were played at Veterans Stadium, the previous home of the Phillies. At the 76 All-Star game, I had the privilege of announcing and introducing the President of the United States, President Gerald R. Ford, which was not the only time I announced the U.S. president. I also am the voice of the Army-Navy football game in Philadelphia, and will be announcing this year's game December 8th at Lincoln Financial Field. But at the 2004 Army-Navy game, I announced then President George W. Bush.
Wow, you have had an awesome career and like continue to. I mean, the president, the championships, that must feel so awesome, especially, like I said, from being around here. So you have had actually back on at LaSalle too. Can you talk a little bit about what you've done here?
Well, for one thing, my son Darren is a 2002 LaSalle grad, and he majored in communications and took a lot of classes right in this building where you're taping and I'm taping this show. But I also was the executive secretary for the Philadelphia Big Five, LaSalle, Penn, St. Joseph's Temple, and Villanova. And I broadcast LaSalle basketball from 1977 through 1998. And to me, one of the greatest teams in the Big Five basketball history was the 1969 Explorers with Ken Durrett, Larry Cannon, Bernie Williams, Stan Wlodarczyk. It was a great team, 23-1, and the legendary Tom Gola was the coach of that team.
Yep.
Everybody knows that team around here,
yeah,
right?
Definitely. And kind of just last question, what is your favorite part about doing what you do?
I just enjoy it. The excitement of being in an arena, in a stadium, the crowd noise. I'm such a big sports fan. Gosh, if I wasn't lucky enough, Dana, to do this, I'd probably be a season ticket holder, certainly paying my way in to a lot of games. I root for all of the Philadelphia teams, and I'm very good friends with former LaSalle coaches Speedy Morris and John Giannini. Ashley Howard, I worked with Ashley when he was, in fact, I broadcast his games as an undergraduate at Drexel, and then worked with him when he was an assistant coach at Drexel. So best of luck to Ashley Howard and the Explorers.
Well, thank you so much, Dan, for coming here and talking to us about your amazing career and your job. So I want to thank you again. And now we're going to take it to the streets to see our Just Next Door correspondents talk to some fans about sports trivia. Take a look.
Welcome to the first edition of Philly Facts. My name is Kevin Wynn. We're down here at the Wells Fargo Center. We have
Tyrone Washington,
Tony Clemens,
Jack Cap,
Dale Mountain,
George McDermott, and his son Matt.
We're going to ask him 5 quick questions here about Philly sports trivia. First question is, what number does Joel Embiid wear?
21.
Good.
21.
21 is correct.
No idea. No idea. Is it 2?
It is not.
I have no idea either.
Really?
Yep.
It is 21.
Really?
21, Joel Embiid. What was the final score of Super Bowl 52? That was this year's Super Bowl.
You an Eagle fan?
I don't know.
What was the final score? 41-33.
That is also correct.
We're doing good.
Yeah, you guys are doing great.
Oh, I can't remember that either.
It was a high-scoring game.
Like 38-35?
It was 41-33. The Phillies have won 2 World Series. In what years did they win them?
1983. And 2003. You want to do it?
No, you got it.
1980, 2008.
Man, I'm stumped. 1980, and
yes.
2008.
Yes, good job. In 2010, the Flyers made the Stanley Cup. Who was the captain?
You asked me about.
I don't know. I've watched one hockey game in my life. Gritty?
It was not Gritty.
Not Gritty.
It was not Gritty.
Okay, all right.
It was not Giroux.
Good question. It's Giroux?
It was not Giroux. He is the captain now.
Okay.
All right, final question. How many national championships does Villanova have?
2. I think it's 2.
No, it's 3.
It's 3?
The answer is 3.
3.
You're right.
They have 3.
The answer is 3.
3.
That is correct. They have 3. Thank you guys so much.
Thanks so much for having us.
Yep.
Events are one of Philly's favorite sources of entertainment. Visitors in the city visit the Eastern State Penitentiary for a fright-filled night of fun. Eastern State holds their seasonal Terror Behind the Walls event, turning the former prison into a haunted house attraction. Our Just Next Door correspondents got the inside scoop of what it takes to create this much-anticipated event. Check it out.
Oh, it's about time I had patience. The last one didn't last so long.
Terror Behind the Walls is the #1 haunted house in the country. We're the largest haunted house outside of an amusement park like Six Flags or Universal. And we run about 200 actors through our show every night. The makeup department puts everybody out in 2.5 hours. We have 20 people to do it, so it's a very exciting, very thrilling, very impactful time. We use all top-notch Hollywood products, and we use prosthetics on almost all the people in our show.
I think the most enjoyable is when I get to do something really, really, really crazy and creative. So my favorite character to date is the giant bugs. We call them the centipedes, and they're in the center of the attraction, and some of them are on stilts. And it was a real challenge because you also have to think about the functionality of it. But then you get to have the fun of building an insect.
What I like most about being a makeup artist is being able to create something, make the imaginary come to life, and I really enjoy watching people become the character afterwards. I actually enjoy very much so walking out the streets and looking at all my creations come to life, watching them scare people, watching how they interact with the people, and it makes me, I don't know, chuckle inside and feel a little warm. Yeah, happy.
It's a matter of how quickly, is it somebody we see really fast? Or is it somebody who does a slow, creepy crawl that we see a long time?
Time for a ritual. Close your eyes. Put your hands in the water. Close your eyes.
So it also depends on how long we see the person for the detail. So I used to be absolutely terrified of horror movies, haunted attractions, the whole thing. I mean, I had a traumatic experience when I was in 4th grade, and I went through one, and I just bawled. I basically designed my way out of being afraid of haunted attractions, and now I love them, and I love horror movies, and, I mean, all of it.
Well, that's all the time we have for this week's episode. We hope you have enjoyed traveling around the community of Philadelphia and getting in the fall spirit.
And don't forget, if you want to explore amazing culture, foods, famous destinations, and more, all you've got to do is look just next door.